Yeah. So it was a wonderful video, and welcome you all for the second day of Powering the Future Summit by IEEE PES Young Professionals. And today we'll be having our entrepreneurship track, and we'll be having three wonderful speakers, and we'll be having the panel discussion on the entrepreneurship. And I would like to introduce our speakers. Can I have the presentation, please? Yeah, so the track will be from 1 p.m. 1 to 2 p.m. and we have our speakers Dr. Rashi Gupta, Tim Louis, and Janati Nakimera. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Rashi Gupta for the session. Dr. Rashi, fondly known as the Battery Valley of India, is the pioneer of the manufacturing of advanced lithium batteries in India, along with the world's smartest lithium battery. She is the founder and managing director of Vision Mechatronics Private Limited, leading it towards the name to reckon for the field of robotics, renewable energy, energy storage, etc. A woman entrepreneur who has been fearlessly and ferociously in creating a brand for herself and the company is these male dominant fields. I welcome you, Rashi, ma'am, to the session.
Thank you so much, Anish. It is wonderful to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome Tim Louis. Tim Louis is the CTO and co-founder of Innosis, a company focusing on innovation and sustainable energy solutions. He has a broad technical background in battery technology, robotics, automotive industries, control systems, and intelligence security systems. I welcome you, sir, for this session. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you very much, Anish. It's my pleasure to join this session together and share our knowledge.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, I would like to welcome Janati Nakimera. Janati is a steering committee member of IEEE Uganda session and a student pursuing master's degree in power and power system engineering in Makerere University, Kampala. Under the IEEE, she serves as treasurer and is also in charge of industrial relations in Makerere University IEEE student branch. Her role is to enable students to get access to opportunities in the industry and can be benefited of them. I welcome you, Janati, for the session.
Thank you very much for welcoming me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So without wasting any time, we can straight away go into the track. So I'll just explain how the track is designed. We have around 10 questions and each speaker will be having around 15 minutes for answering the questions in total. And I'll not be asking all the questions to all the speakers because the time is very, very limited. So I'll ask random questions and you'll have around 15 minutes for all the questions. So I hope we can start, right?
Yes.
So I would like to start with Dr. Rashi. First of all, it will be better to give a brief introduction about yourself and your entrepreneurial life and your success.
Well, with me, I started pretty young. I was barely, I think, 18, 19 at that time, and it was not easy and a lot of hardships and jumping between jobs was not easy, and I just realized that I'm not meant for just doing some ordinary jobs. That's not me. That doesn't make me happy. That does not give me a sense of satisfaction. So I said, what can I do? What is the change I can bring about? And that's when, and robotics was something which was very fascinating. As a young budding engineer, which just came out of college, wanted to do something really nice and bring about a change in the society. So what was it that I could do? And then being a woman entrepreneur was not at all easy. It was not accepted back then like it is now. Now it's better. There are more opportunities. So back then in 2009 and all, there were not many opportunities. It was not easy, and I wanted to earn money, right? That was important at that point of time in my life. So I said, let's start with the entrepreneurial journey, and I started with robotics. Today I'm doing, along with robotics, energy storage. I have the world's smartest lithium battery to the title to the company. And then when I started all of this, I just had this one thing in mind, that I want to make a significant difference to the lives of the people who will work with me, and to the lives of the customers that we cater to, because that's most important. Because what is the value proposition I'm going to create? And that is what led me to become an entrepreneur. And I think, and then I became a serial entrepreneur, because just staying with one industry, or just staying with one thing could not help, could not satisfy my need, my passion. So I wanted to do more and more and more, and that's when from robotics I ventured into energy storage, renewable energies, because renewable energies is very good, and it helps you create clean and greener environment, which is the need of today. We are all suffering from climate emergency, so being in these domains really made me have a sense of satisfaction. And so I think that's what my entrepreneurial journey is about as of today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rashi. It was like very inspirational for other people to who are planning to start entrepreneurial journeys. So thank you, Rashi. And next, I would like to invite Tim. Just give you a brief introduction and your entrepreneurial journey.
Okay. So, well, actually, I'm a very new entrepreneur. First of all, I grew up in Hong Kong. So, regarding to the culture background, it's complicated. So, I'm Chinese, and I grew up in a Western style country in Hong Kong. So, I am quite familiar with both the Eastern and the Western culture. So, this is it's a very good experience for me as well, because I can understand the Western world, and because now I'm located in Shanghai for Inosis for the new journey. So it helps me a lot to understand both for the culture. And I especially think culture is very important because for humanity, we need to know each other better if you know their background and culture. So my education is I was graduated in the University of in Hong Kong, and my major was electronic and information engineering. Not quite close to robotic, but finally, after the graduations, I've been working in many Fortune 500 companies like Philips, NXP, and Emerson. Okay, so finally, I just found that, just like Dr. Rashi, it's not something I want. I'm not going to just do a job and stay there. I want to contribute more. The keyword is contribute. And I see a lot of problems need to be solved. So I want to contribute something to the society. And finally, luckily, I'm in the industry of new energy, that I think energy is very important for the humanity, the growth of the humanity. Now we are only in the level 1 civilizations of humanity. And if we can apply the energy or use the energy wisely, like the fusion, we can go to the level 2 of civilization of humanity. So because of the willingness to contribute myself, I just start the journey, the entrepreneurship in Innosis, to try to do something and to try to bring some values to customer and to the humanities. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. It was a futuristic level of thinking by your side to start a company like that. Thank you for being here. And next, I would like to invite Janati Nakimera for the brief introduction, your educational backgrounds, and your journey with the entrepreneurship life.
Thank you, Anish. So a bit about myself. I am based in Kampala, Uganda. I'll start with my journey as an entrepreneur. I started this journey in 2019, actually 18. I was attending the entrepreneurship workshop in IEEE Entrepreneurship Workshop in Rwanda, Kigali. And that's when I got inspired to start this journey. And I started a company that's Solar Net Metering Uganda Limited. I co-founded it in 2019. And the main purpose of co-founding this company was to expand electricity access in my country and to promote the use of eco-friendly ecosystems in my country. And as regards my education, I started with a bachelor's degree, a Bachelor of Science degree in education, majoring in math and physics. And I later studied a master's in power systems engineering, both degrees from Makerere University in Kampala. And from that point on, I started to work in the education sector and then later progressed to transition to the engineering sector. And I also started to work with the IEEE way back in 2013. It's coming to 8 years now. I've been a volunteer with the IEEE for 8 years. And I have experienced quite a lot and I've learned quite a lot. And as an entrepreneur, if I could, when I co-founded the company, the major challenge I faced was that in my country, Uganda, the policy on net metering is not yet fully in place. So because the policy was not yet fully in place, I had to look for a way of, I was stuck for 1 year. I didn't do anything for the whole of 2019 because you cannot do something where there's no regulation in your country supporting it. So I had to decide to start with off-grid electrification in the meantime as I wait for the policy to be fully adopted in the country. And as regards my cultural background, I'm an African and born and raised in Africa, raised in Uganda. And I am cognizant of the different issues and challenges affecting the African child. I come from a very humble background and I've been able to attain some level of success in my life through working very hard and meeting people and being on platforms like this one. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Janati. As you said, hard work will always be paid off, and happy to know that you get inspired from IEEE to the entrepreneurial journey. So it will be an eye opener for other people who are also interested in IEEE and also in entrepreneurship. So that was my first question, and I think you all answered my second question. And so, what was your motivation behind working for your company? Everyone answered that question. So I'll go for the third question. And Dr. Rashi, the question is for you. How important is the knowledge of finance to an entrepreneur in order to start and sustain an organization? How important is the knowledge of finance to an entrepreneur in order to start and sustain an organization? You are switching between two companies, so it will be easy for you to answer that.
Okay, good question. Very important question. And to all the young budding entrepreneurs here who are listening to this session today, finance is the key, and it is very important that you understand your finances well. But that does not mean that you have to have any financial courses being done. Okay, that's not necessary. What is necessary is common sense. And finance comes, and you know, the common sense and finance both are intertwined and interrelated, very, very deeply interrelated. So please, first and foremost in the finance, I would just say that whatever you have, whatever funds you have, use very wisely. Always listen to your inner gut feeling. When it says do not spend, do not spend. No matter how tempting it becomes to spend that money that you have, okay? You may feel that this is once in a lifetime opportunity, you may not get it again. But if there is even a 1% doubt or a 1% thought that comes to your mind, which says do not spend, then just listen to that 1% and leave that 99%. It is not the best opportunity. I've always trusted my gut feeling on that, and I haven't failed. So it's important. So if it's when it comes to finance, you may not be need to have a great knowledge of finance and stuff. Listen to your gut feeling, very important, and you'll always multiply. But yes, choose wisely. Always weigh your pros and cons of whatever decision you are going to take with this financial matters that you have to evaluate, and then take your decision. Always take a weighted decision. Never hurry or never rush into anything when it comes to finance, because the backbone of your entire business is the finance. If anything goes wrong here, you lead to bankruptcy, and if you're in debt, you are into deep trouble, you are in deep waters. So what is important is choose wisely, take an informed decision, and use your common sense to the max. That's all for finance.
Yeah, that answers the question. Common sense is more important in finance. Thank you. And my next question, how did your education help to sustain and grow your respective venture? The question is to Tim.
Okay, thank you very much. So, well, actually, I quite like Dr. Rashid's answer to the previous question. Very excellent. I love that. Thank you very much for your sharing. Okay, so regarding how the education can help us to sustain and grow our venture. So first of all, regarding to the definition of education, my definition is like it's not a compulsory education. Many people, when we talk about the education, they will think about the university, the primary, the secondary school education. Not only this is not willingly by yourself, okay? But they are essential, very essential to have the education, high level education. Let me just say like this: when you graduate from the university, no matter master degrees or doctor degrees, it will teach you how to learn. So this is what I learned. This is we learn how to learn from the education. But the definition of the education is not only this. I think the education, to me, it means a lifelong learning. So for the previous education, including the on job education training, it makes me learn how to have a logical thinking. So it's something like common sense. When you encounter a lot of problem, and when you solve a lot of problem, you have some intuition. You can see the root cause or the most important element of a very complex problem. Then you have the ability to see through the whole things. You see through the very complex phenomena and find the right, very important element because you are educated, something like this. So you learn from your job, not only from the education institute. Okay, so if you encounter new problem and you don't have the right knowledge and tool to solve that, so what next? What will you do? Ask people? Yes. And you need to educate yourself again. So this is my definition of education. So it never stops. So don't think, okay, I've learned this, I have my degrees, I just stop here. Okay, no, not like this. The world is changing. You need to be very aggressive, proactive to educate yourself until the end of your life. So if you ask me how it helped me to sustain and grow my prospective venture, this is the attitude to learn and keep learning. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim. Dr. Rashi, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. I mean, absolutely brilliant answer by Tim here. And I can relate this to my life. You know what? I started with Bachelor's of Engineering. Okay, and then engineering had no value in India. I mean, engineers were not valued. I mean, you won't get a job with being just an engineer. So you got to do your masters of some masters were required. And I wanted to do business, so I wanted to get into entrepreneurship. So I did an MBA, I did Masters of Business Administration. And then I had a lot of hurdles. I'm just enlightening how what Tim says, keep learning, keep going. So then when I did my Masters of business administration, post that, I realized there were a lot of hurdles. I went on to do my law, bachelor's of law. Then I went on to do my master's of law. And then I went on to do my PhD in management. So, that learning curve never stopped. And today I learn from all the new joinees of the company. I learn from their creativity. I learn from their freshness. I learn from their new and fresh feel that they bring about, with the creativity for the new products or for new innovation. So, along with learning, you have to realize that you're a lifetime student. You will always keep learning. That is something which really keeps you going, which keeps you motivated, and that is the heart of entrepreneurship. So that's all I wanted to add. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rashi, and thank you, Tim. It was a wonderful answer. Learning is a continuous process, and you have to do it for the lifetime. Yes, thank you. And I'll move on to my next question. And this question I would like to ask to Janati first, and then I'll give an opportunity to both of you for answering, because it's an important question. Which is the most difficult part of running the organization? For example, finance, finding the right employee, training them, uh, etc. So, which is the most difficult part in running an entrepreneur? Sure. Yeah. The question is to Janati.
Okay, so I'll start with talking about the challenges I faced. Just a brief about the challenges. So first, for me, not having a policy adopted in the country on net metering was a huge challenge for me. I was stuck for 1 year. I didn't really do anything. And there's a framework being developed, though it's work in progress. So I had to re-strategize with my team and then decide on which way to go. So we chose to start with off-grid electrification in the meantime. And then the team I started with initially, it was multinational. A few of us were based in Uganda, the other people were based in Rwanda, a neighboring country, and it was hard for us to convene and have meetings. Some were studying, some had jobs, they were busy doing other work. And that was also difficult for me to run the company and see it grow. And then the funds, I didn't really have funds to start. And in the beginning, the business is too risky. So some investors do not want to invest in your business because of the risk associated with it. You've not really made any progress. How are you going to convince someone to give you this much money when there's no traction, there's no work done yet? So I had to use my personal savings to start. And the biggest challenge to date is having the right people with the right set of skills to work with, because the situation in Uganda is that many people start businesses and then they do the business, and on the side they have a job, an 8 to 5 job. So most of the people in my team are working, they're employed. So if someone is employed, you have to know that from 8 to 5, they're somewhere else. So if you need them, you'll meet them in the evening. And if there's curfew, like right now, there's curfew, we cannot meet. So that means you'll have to meet on the weekend. If they have a wedding or a function, you cannot meet them. So that means next week or the next month. So for me, it's been having the right people to work with and having them, and then also the wages. At the start, when you've not really made money, you cannot really pay people for the work they do adequately. You know what I mean? So because of that, it's important to find people who understand the situation and they can work with you regardless. So the biggest challenge for me has been having the right people to work with. Thank you.
Thank you, Chanati. And it was a wonderful discussion, because most of the people who are starting the business, they will know how hard it is. And now I would like to know your experience, Dr. Rashi, how you managed the difficulties.
I think
While starting.
let Tim first speak first, and then I'll take this
Okay.
last.
Okay, nice. Okay, so we would like to hear from you, Tim, your difficulties which you
My
faced.
pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Rossi. Okay, so yeah, well, the most difficult part, well, actually, running an organization is very difficult. It's very difficult. But I think, so among the difficulties, just a question we need to ask for ourselves is why we need to run this organization. This is very important.
Tim, I think you have some network issues. Is it only for me or
Is it okay now? Okay.
no? Yeah, the voice is breaking, and also the video is also breaking.
Let me try my internet. It's working, no problem on my side. Is it all right?
Not yet.
Okay, let me try it. So, is it better? Is it better?
Maybe you could just log out and log in again. Maybe that would help.
Yeah.
Better now? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
No, Tim, and you are not audible clearly.
Hello?
Your video just paused. Maybe we can wait for him, and meanwhile, I think Dr. Rashi, you can answer.
Okay. I have a completely different perspective. I mean, I 100% agree with what Janati said. I have gone through the same troubles, and I think all of us entrepreneurs will go through the same issues. Okay, Tim is back, so let us.
Yeah. You go ahead, continue, no problem.
No. You please carry on.
Okay.
I'll take it up.
So I didn't realize the connection problem. So what I just mentioned is if running an organization is really difficult, but the key question to ask for ourselves is why we need to run this organization, right? This is the key question. So because we try to set up an organization and we recruit or ask for a lot of staff or partners together to run the business. Why we need to do this? We need to create some value. We want to contribute. For example, for me, it's like this. We want to provide an innovative and sustainable energy to humanity. So this is why we do this. Okay, because why this is so important? Because without a reason, your organization will be without soul. So this is my argument. Okay, so back to the question. Sorry, I'm a little bit off topic. So I think the most important and difficult part for running an organization is to find the right people, just like Janati has already mentioned. Finance, yes. Without finance, without cash flow, the company will die for sure. This is very important. Without the training, yes, they cannot do the job very good. But when you just start the business, when you are out of nothing, you only have friendship, you have partners, and your faith to make something happen. But if you don't have a good team, for example, just me or or one single guy, when he or she want to do something, it's really difficult. You need to find good people with talent to fulfill and to help you to compete your capability. For example, if I'm very strong and technical, but I don't have any marketing or sales capability, how can I sell my product? So this is very important. So I think the teaming, the staffing, finding the right people will be the most difficult part for running the organization. Of course, there are a lot of difficulties, and I think Dr. Rashid will have a lot of things to share to us. I pass the chance to you, Dr. Rashid.
Well, thank you. Okay. Well, like I was saying just a moment before, I have a different perspective. I agree to both of what Janati and Tim has said, but I think the biggest challenge or the hurdle in an entrepreneurial journey is the entrepreneur himself. Now, everybody will just look at me and say, "What is she talking about? What does she mean?" Now, what I mean here is the mindset of the entrepreneur is the biggest hurdle. As an entrepreneur, what we try to do is we want everything to be perfect. We want everything to go as per our plan. But life is not like that. Life will never, ever let you go by your plan because life's plan is better than your plan. So, first and foremost, an entrepreneur needs to understand that he or she needs to delegate, needs to let go, which we cannot do as entrepreneurs. We all want to hold on and we want to show that this is the best, but you don't need to be the best. You need to create what is the best. You may have flaws with yourself, no worries. But what you need to do is you need to accept, you need to revise, you need to review, and you need to accept that there are flaws. So your mindset is your biggest challenge. And I realized it over a long period of time. I'm coming to this statement after years of experience of what Janati went through, what Tim goes through, what I went through. We all are in the same boat. But what would make you really successful and what would make you different from others is the mindset. That's it. How everybody of us, every one of us, like today, even though I'm a serial entrepreneur, I've done many things. Even though I start a new business, I'm again going to start with all the same challenges. But what is going to be different this time is my mindset. How will we overcome all these challenges that we have seen? How will we overcome these problems? How will we ensure that what Tim said, what is the value and the purpose that we have come here for? Why have we become an entrepreneur? How is it that we will keep ourselves self motivated? How is it that every morning we will get up and fight that challenge? That's the bottleneck. So the entrepreneur himself or herself is the bottleneck, and not the challenges and the problems and the co-workers and the finance. Everything else can be dealt if you have the right mindset, if you have the right motivation, and you are willing to go to 200% of your time and of your thought investment that you're going to do. 200% of your own investment. Here, I'm not talking of money. I'm talking of yourself as an investment into the entrepreneurial journey. If you put yourself 200% into this entrepreneurial journey, success is the only word you can have. So that's my perspective on the bottlenecks.
Thank you, Dr. Rashi. Yes, it was 10% correct that you yourself has to be dedicated to the entrepreneurial journey to be successful. And I would like to add one more question. Like you said that mindset is very important. A lot of people are trying to become an entrepreneur. They have this mindset like I have to become an entrepreneur. They have the idea, but they doesn't have the guts to start the business. So what is the advice you would like to give these people? How to start, like how to overcome this border where they stop being a student and being an entrepreneur?
I think Tim has already answered most part of it in the previous question where we said, what is the value that you are going to create? Why are you here? That is what Tim said, and I completely agree with him. See, when you are on a borderline, okay, what I personally do, I mean, this is a very simple thing. I just take a piece of paper. I write the pros and cons of both the sides of my life. Whichever side is higher, simple. That's the side which is going to work, which is more profitable. Always go with more profitable. Now, profitable does not mean money all the time. Profit is not just money. Profit is when you evaluate in terms of your life. Profit, many a times, why do we help our friends? Are you getting any money out of it? Are you making some profit? Yes. What is your profit? Good deeds are your profit. You have made a good relationship with a person. So help, when a friend in need is a friend indeed, right? So that person will help you anytime when you need. So what is that good work that you are going to do with this entrepreneurial journey? How many lives are going to be changed for good? How much value you are going to create for yourself and for the society? Now, with the society, I just don't mean the place that you're living in. I'm talking of the world and the globe at large. You may feel, oh, I'm such a tiny person at this one small community where I work. Now, how am I going to make a difference to the entire world? Yes. With each one of us doing one single deed, even in one local community, we are creating a better tomorrow for all of us together. Because someone somewhere is going to see you. And now it's more easier to reach each other thanks to the internet, to the social media, and thanks to great platforms like IEEE. We all are accessible to each other. So one good deed that you do in your local community is seen by everybody in the globe. So that's deciding factor that which side of the fence you want to sit. You want to be on the entrepreneurial journey or you want to be on the other side of the fence. So it's up to you.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you. That
excellent.
was a great answer.
Excellent
Yes.
answer. Can I
Yeah.
say something?
Yes, Tim.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes. Actually, Dr. Rashid has given a very good, correct answer to that questions, and I like this and totally agree. So I provide another point of view of answers. Like, it's a, you know, for life, everybody has just one life. We are not talking about recombinations or another life. For example, when we talk about this life, okay, so you only have one chance to do it one time. So why don't you just the depth of the life depends on your experience, your contributions. So why don't you just stand out a little bit of your safe zone and try something else? Okay, so I think actually everybody should be at least an entrepreneur for one time for their life. Because when you step outside your safe zone, when you try to be an entrepreneur, you will taste something very different. Not only money or job or something, your whole point of view, your understanding of the world and the life will be changed because you will receive a lot of challenges, no matter mentally or physically or financially. You will see a lot of things, and this will empower you to solve the capability to solve the problem. And at least if you fail, you will earn some knowledge and you will be happy because you try something you want to try. Okay, and to me, I think the failure is very good thing. Many people are afraid of failure. Oh, I failed, so I stop doing this. No, not like this. The faster you get failed, the more experience you accumulate, and the faster you become successful. This is my philosophy. So my advice is try to be an entrepreneur because this is your life and this will be an adventure in your life, whole life. Okay. So how to find the right direction? Maybe I can say something like find something you are very interested in, find something you are very good at. Okay. Try to cross them together. Okay, so at this point, you will find something very interesting. Oh, you are good at this and you want to do this. Why not? Try that. Okay, and if you find the adventure, need some new skill, find some good friends, good partners with talents together, and just make it happen. Fail, you try it again. So this is my advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim. I think Dr. Rashi has to leave now. So thank you, Dr. Rashi, for being with us now. And we'll continue with the other two speakers. And my next question is to Janati. Um, the question is it important to be part of any professional organization? If so, why? Name some organization that helped you in your career. For example, you already mentioned about IEEE. So is it important like an entrepreneur should be part of some professional organization like that?
Yes, Anish, thank you very much for that question. Yet it's very important to be part of a professional organization. Networks such as the IEEE, which I'm a part of, the ITU, Generation Connect community, all these organizations are committed to advancing the youth strategy and have provided a platform for me to grow my business and to accelerate digital transformation. And it's important for an entrepreneur to be part of such platforms because you get to grow your network, you get to meet people, you get to learn new things. And it's also important for an entrepreneur to act ignorant sometimes. Don't act like you know it all. When you get to interact with different people, you should don't act smart. Act like you don't know so that you get to learn a lot from the interactions. And through these networks, I have met very many people who have given me an opportunity to express myself, like right now. and an opportunity to exchange best practice knowledge. I would not have this opportunity if I was not part of the IEEE. So it's important to be a part of such platforms. And entrepreneurs should also be in position to learn through these platforms to meet like-minded people, meet people in business. You know, you can be in business in Uganda, then you meet someone who's doing a similar business in a different country. So then you get to interact and share, learn, relate, get to hear their story, and then be able to relate with yours and find new ways of doing what you're doing. It's not like one size fits all. So you need to be able to get new knowledge and appreciate the fact that other people are doing the same thing out there. They might be doing it even better than you, but you didn't know. So through this exposure, you get to learn about the different practices and how to grow your business and be a successful entrepreneur. Thank you.
Thank you, Janati. Tim, would you like to add anything?
Well, I think Janati has answered the question very well. Except, yeah, something to add is, yeah, the networking, the information is very important, especially when you are in like IEEE or other professional society. You can get the most updated technology trend, and then you will also know the market trend by participating the event and the exhibition together by the society. So it's very good. And the most important thing is we can take the opportunity there to share our knowledge and our updated product to the network as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Dr. Rashi, I don't know whether you were part of some professional organization. Did it help you in being an entrepreneur?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, the question is it important to be part of any professional organization? If so, why?
Absolutely not. I've never worked with any professional organization or any corporates. Ground up, right after the college, I started with the entrepreneurship. So I don't think it's necessary. You have it, okay, but what happens is if you have that kind of experience, you build a different type of organization. If you are a first generation and entrepreneur right from the beginning, without any professional or an experience like that, you build a more personal kind of an organization, a more family kind of an organization. So they're two different things, you know. So it's absolutely not necessary. And what I feel is, you know, as an entrepreneur, just give it your best shot, whether you have any professional experience or not. And when you give something your best shot, it works the best. The outcome is perfect.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rashi. So we can move on to the next question. So it is also like most asked question for to an entrepreneur. What are the avenues for getting financial supports? It's very important to get financial support while starting a business. So what are the avenues for getting financial support? If we can start with you, Dr. Rashi.
Now there are many more avenues available for the new entrepreneurs. In my time, we didn't have anything. We had to go for debt or for, you know, own funds. And I had none. That time when I started my business, I had none. And banks were so difficult to deal with. They would not fund any new young budding entrepreneurs with new ideas. They would think, you know, why should we, and what is your collateral? I had no collateral, nothing, just empty pockets coming out of college with just some pocket money being saved. And it was not an easy journey. But today there are a lot of avenues. There's venture capitalist available, there is debt funding available, there's equity funding available. And you know, with my journey, it was not easy because getting debt was not a very easy option at that time. You needed collateral, you needed a lot of you needed some kind of surety. And you know, who would guarantee for me? Who would sign the collateral papers for me? Nobody. You know, nobody wants to take that risk. So what do? So I went to the government funding schemes and I tried picking up some. Then I decided one fine day, no debt, enough. Let's just work, let's just save more, let's cut down on the unnecessary expenditures. No pomp and show. I went on to the ground basics. I still work on ground basics. I don't do any pomp and show. I work on the basics and I don't make it loud. But what I do is no unnecessary expenditures, no matter how good your cash flows are. And then, we went on to the model of customer financing. Basically, what we did was we made the customer finance the entire thing. Basically, instead of so basically taking advances as on the customer model instead of going as in debt. That you take your revenue before you deliver the product. I went that way. So we started clearing off our debts, which we had to initially for starting. So this was a slow process. This journey is a slow journey. It does not happen overnight because even your customers won't believe in you that you would deliver things on time, right? So that takes a lot of effort, a lot of persistence, perseverance, and that is when you can come to this journey. So slowly we decided to be a zero debt company. We are on that journey right now. Very soon we will be a zero debt company, and we kept on adding one lot of equity to ourselves by our own bootstrapped, and we are still bootstrapped. So when you're on the bootstrap journey, it is important that you make very wise decisions of how you're going to spend your money. Otherwise, you are going to land into deep trouble. And trust me, nobody is going to come and bail you out. You have to bail yourself. So be wise, be absolutely cautious of even that one dime that you are going to spend. Be absolutely cautious. A lot of avenues available today, many things, and social media helps you a lot. In fact, you can even go for the crowdfunding nowadays. Our times we didn't have anything of these options available. Now crowdfunding, and thanks to internet and social media, life of an entrepreneur has become very easy on both sides. Getting funding, promoting your products or services, marketing, getting people reaching out. Life is easier now. Guys, you got to take this option now. You really got to get on to this. No better opportunity than this time. The timing is perfect. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Rashid. It was nice. And I also like to
Yeah,
ask,
yeah,
yeah, Tim, you can continue.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because this topic, I've gone through all the process, not in Innosis, for my previous job, also as a CTO in an tier one automotive supplier. So I've gone through all the angel, VC, angel fund. Crowdfunding is another thing I've encountered in the year of 2014. I was in Kickstarter for a consumer electronic project, so it was funded just for fun for the iPhone accessories. Yes, so I understand the crowdfunding. It's very interesting. I can share later if there's any opportunity. So in my previous job as a CTO, I accompanied the entrepreneur, the boss, in that year, in one single year. We has been talking to more than hundreds of angel funds and VC. I tell you the truth, it's very difficult to ask people to invest to you, to give money to you. Okay, so if they really want to give money to you, why? I tell you why. They come in, they give money to you because they want to find exit. This is the standard terms used by angel or VC. They invest you, for example, and they want to get out, exit in 5 year time. If you can bring them very good revenue or 10 times, looking for 10 times. If they invest $1, they want to get at least $10 out your pocket at the, 4 to 5 years later, something like that. There is always a trade-off. They are not giving you money for nothing. They would like to give to exchange some equities of your company. Of course, some VC will still keep some portion of the equity in your company if they think your company will keep growing. But most of them will find exit when they invest you. So most of the startup there is very difficult for the financial support. So why we call the people angel because they are the friends, they are the relatives, they are the people close to you. They know you, not because they think your business will be good, because they think you are good. So they believe in you and they trust you and they give money to support you. So that's why they are called angel. But other than that, for VC venture capital, they are not friends from you. They are just fighting against you. You know, they want to get the highest proportion of equity with the minimum investment. So how to say? There are a lot of ways to get the money, but first of all, other than angel, you need to prove your concept. You need to prove that your business is, so first of all, profitable and sustainable. Without this, even though you talk to thousands of VC, you will not get $1 from them. But if you prove yourself, they will continue to invest to you. So this is the principle and lesson learned I can share here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim. That was a lot of information and it was very nice. And I would also like to ask Janati, because she is the youngest entrepreneur among you, and how did she find this financial supports? Yes, Janati, over to you.
Thank you, Anish. Well, there are different avenues to get finances, like Tim and Dr. Rashi have mentioned. And for me, I started off with personal savings. I could not convince anyone to fund me. I just started. I struggled a bit. I was at different events pitching for funding, pitched. I didn't get money. Then I solicited for funds from friends, and then I approached different government agencies. And it's like the rules governing business competition are not fair to small scale businesses. They require so much from you. You should have collateral, you should have all these things which you don't really have. So it was not easy for me to access the funds. So I had to start off with some personal savings. And then I also sold a few things to get some money. And then I started off. Along the way, I also applied for funding to different agencies, but I've not been successful as yet. I'm hoping that I'll be successful sometime. So basically, that's how my journey has been. But just like Dr. Rashi and Tim already mentioned, there are different ventures like the angel investors, the partner funding, the community development finance institutions, crowdfunding. These days, there is a Kickstarter and Indiegogo. These are platforms that are good for crowdfunding. So a young entrepreneur can embrace those ones, and they can go look them up and try and get their business funded. Thank you.
Thank you, Janati. Thank you, Janati, for
1 minute, Anish. A big
yes.
hug. 1 minute,
Yes,
Anish.
yes.
A big hug to Janati for standing there despite all these odds. I know what that journey must have been. How thorny is that journey? Because I've gone through exactly the same pattern. Nobody funded me. In fact, nobody opened a bank account. The bankers refused to open a bank account for my company. I know what you've gone through. A big hug. I mean, if I had been on a physical event, I would have done that, but that's all I can do for you now. Please go on. Do not quit at this point of time. You will get your funds for sure.
Yeah, I remember what you had already mentioned. The mindset is very important for an entrepreneur, and Janati had that mindset, yes. And we can wind up with two more questions. And the question is, how do you think you can fuel the entrepreneurial spirit among the younger generations? This question is to Tim. How can you just
Well, I
fuel the
think
entrepreneurial spirit among the younger generations?
yes, I think for the previous question, I have mentioned something that actually, you know, you cannot just tell one people to become entrepreneur. They just don't buy it. You cannot tell people to do it. I think the most important thing is to show the possibility to become something, to do something, to contribute something. That's very important, because when the people they think they need to change, the change begins. So that's very important. So for us, no matter Janati or Dr. Rashid, why we're here today? Because we want to share the failure, the experience, the painful that we have encountered, and to show to any new entrepreneur in their future life that you can see a light, that there is a chance you can change something. You can taste different life if you choose a different path. So by inspiring people, by showing them the possibility in life is what we want to do and share, to make more people to try something different and to contribute to the whole humanity. Thank you.
Yeah, setting an example by yourself is a very good option for others to get inspired. Thank you, Tim. And I would like to go for the last question, and it is for Dr. Rashi and Janati. How are the challenges similar or different as a woman? How are the challenges similar or different as a woman in entrepreneurial journey? Dr.
Janati
Rashi, would you
first.
like to start? Yeah,
Janati
okay.
first.
Janati first, please.
Okay, well, the challenges of an entrepreneur are not so different if you're a woman because you're still an entrepreneur. The only difference is that in the energy business, to this day, the energy business is still overwhelmingly male dominated. And in times like these, having strong female presence is crucial. And I didn't have many female mentors to look up to, so that was a huge barrier for me. If I had a female who had experienced the same thing, who had shared her story with me, probably I would be able to relate and know that I'm not the only one there, and I can also overcome the challenges. And I had to look past this challenge and be able to strive and accomplish my goals. And I hope that one day someone will be inspired by my journey. And moving forward, I think it's important to provide an enabling environment for the young generation in particular, to the younger women out there, to take up space in the world of entrepreneurship. It's important to mentor them, to provide the funds, to provide access to funds, supportive policies, a supportive system, proper understanding of how the ecosystem works. Which organization do you go to for this? Which one do you go to for that? I had to figure everything out on my own, and I think that's a case for many young entrepreneurs in Uganda. And encouraging them to participate as equal partners alongside the leaders of today's world, I think is also very crucial. And then also having these young women be involved in the designing process and be involved in the development of the framework that's suitable for driving entrepreneurship, I think is a way to go forward. To go forward regardless of the challenges they faced. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's nice to hear from your experience. Now, Dr. Rashi.
Yes. Now, your question was, how is it an entrepreneurship journey different from a man and a woman? I think, again, I'll come to the same point. It's the mindset. Do you treat yourself as a professional first? Janati also said that no, the challenges are the same. But I would say challenges are more for a woman than a man. We are still trying to create the gender equality. We have not achieved the gender equality as yet. We are on the way progressing towards it. Now, what is the challenge, as in that I'm talking about, that women face more? They have dual responsibilities: the family and the business or the entrepreneur venture that they're doing. So, that is a dual responsibility. And no problems. Women are strong. Women are very much capable of doing it. The way to handle both the dual responsibilities is something which each one of us has to find in their own lives. And each one of us can get inspired from each other. But the journey, the path is your own. And you have to create it. You are the one who has to walk on it. You have to live by your decisions. You have to live by your choices and no regrets. The most important is you should not regret any of your decisions that you have made. As an entrepreneur, as a woman, or as a man. Stay by your choices. So that's about the entrepreneurship journey. And family is also an entrepreneurial journey. If you can create a beautiful family, if you can do an upbringing of a beautiful family, a family that you can love and stay with, you can always be successful in your entrepreneurial journey. There is no doubt about it. Thank you.
Exactly. Our mothers are the best entrepreneurs.
I'd like to
Yeah.
add.
So, yeah, yes, Janati.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Rashi. Yes, right. The challenges are slightly different for the females. Like she has already mentioned, if you're a mother with children, it's difficult to juggle the two. You're an entrepreneur, and in some societies, like in Africa, in some communities, there's a bias as regards women being entrepreneurs. So that's a huge barrier for them. I have not yet experienced this, but I do think that some women in my community have experienced something like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the words, both of you. Like it will inspire a lot of women out there who are planning to become an entrepreneur. So we are already out of time. So I would like to conclude, and by this was the last question, and I think Sriji, we can move for the closing. Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Rashi for being with us, sharing her experience. Like I always used to say, there is no substitute for experience, and gaining experience is very difficult in life. And after you had gained such experience, you had shared it with us, and it was very inspiration for all of us, and all of the people out there who are watching this event, who are planning to become an entrepreneur. So thank you, Dr. Rashi, for spending uh, quite a bit of time with us and sharing your experience. Thank you so much. And next, I would like to thank Tim Louis for being with us for this 1 hour session and sharing his experiences and letting us know the different phases of being an entrepreneur. Thank you, Tim, for being with us. Next, I would like to thank Janati for being with us, sharing her experience as a young entrepreneur and how she manages the entrepreneurial journey, her studies, everything in a go. And I would like to thank her for being with us for this 1 hour journey. Thank you, Janati, for being with us. And last but not the least, I would also like to thank the organizers and the participants who have been watching the live session for past 1 hour through our social media pages. And thank you for being with us for this 1 hour journey, and hope you gained a lot of information and hope you get inspired by yourself for being an entrepreneur in your life. Thank you. Thank you so much all. By this, we can wind up the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very
Pleasure.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
We have the next session in the coming 15 minutes. So see you there. Bye.